I'm going to show you how to make coconut scrolls just like the way that you find in Chinese bread shops. For this recipe, I'm using 300 grams of bread flour and 35 grams of butter, 75 grams of sugar, 5 grams yeast, salt. Then I'm using one egg for the other one, and 130 milliliters of warm milk. So for the filling, I'm using 75 grams of butter and 75 grams of sugar, and going to use 30 milliliters of coconut milk. So I'm going to leave that aside, and now I'm going to add the yeast into the warm milk. Always the milk has to be warm to add the yeast. So I'm adding half of the sugar just to activate the yeast and leave it aside about 5 minutes. I added the flour into the mixing bowl. Now going to add the salt and then 35 grams of butter and 1 egg, and I'm going to mix that, adding the rest of the sugar about 1 minute before adding the yeast. So after mixing the dough with the sugar and the butter, I'm going to add the yeast mix little by little until it forms a nice smooth dough, and going to knead that about 10 minutes. And make sure when you add the liquid to the flour, you have to add it little by little. Sometimes it may be little, there may be little extra, always depends on the size of the egg that you are using. While kneading the dough, add the softened butter into a mixing bowl. This has to be in room temperature, and add the sugar and then the coconut milk and mix it well into a smooth paste. Once the dough is ready, put that into a greased bowl and cover that with a damp cloth and leave it in a warm place until it doubles in size. After mixing the butter and sugar, it will look like this. And I added the coconut milk too. So add the egg, and then I forgot totally to show you that I need 100 grams of desiccated coconut too. So slowly add the desiccated coconut and make a thick mix out from this and leave it aside. When you are mixing this, if you find that the desiccated coconut is not enough and this mixture is runny, don't hesitate to add a little bit more coconut. It won't be a problem. If you like more sweetness, you can add more sugar too. So, and it is the right consistency. Now leave it aside until you get the dough double in size. When the dough is double in size, punch it down and put some flour on the bench top and put the dough onto the bench top and roll this to a nice smooth rectangle. Once the dough is ready, take the coconut and the butter mix and spread it all over the dough. Try to put it evenly all over the dough. Once you have laid all the coconut on the dough, just roll it to a nice log like this, taking both ends to the other corner. Once you have done the log, you can just press from both ends to make it nice equal size. So if you have a cake slicer, just cut the edges off, and then you have to mark equal parts, the size that you are going to use, and then cut it into equal size portions. I'm using patty pans to put them in, and going to put that in you can put that in muffin pans too if you have large whole muffin pans. So I'm going to leave them to prove again about 30 minutes. I finished making one batch, and this really goes well with the coffee or even for kids lunch boxes or parties, and I hope you will enjoy this. Thank you for watching.